Do you need some energy to get through the day without relying on coffee? I got just the thing for you. It's called Neuro, and I'm partnering up with them for today's video. Neuro has gum and mints to energize, calm, and focus when you need it. They were developed by former athletes who were training at the highest level and simply didn't want to take any mysterious supplements or energy drinks when studying, training, or even going out. Instead of something sugary and ineffective, they wanted to create clean and balanced energy that could be taken anytime and anywhere. Their energy and focus formula is specially formulated with natural caffeine, theanine, and B vitamins to sustain the mental endurance necessary to maintain your focus. Their calm and clarity formula is expertly developed with GABA, vitamin D3, and L-theanine to optimize composure and clarity of mind. Their health and vitality formula is specially infused with life-enhancing, immune-boosting vitamins to help strengthen and support your body. What makes Neuro different? Neuro's gone through dozens of formulations, process, and tests to ensure that each gum and mint they make delivers on their promise of getting you in the right state at the right time. Unlike other heat-extruded gum and mints, Neuro's products are created using cold compression technology, which maintains each ingredient's bioavailability. Neuro is a clean boost of energy without the jitters of coffee or an energy drink. With so many challenges and demands, it can be really hard to stay focused, and Neuro does a great job of keeping you calm, cool, and collected. Stress, fatigue, lack of focus can all impact decision-making abilities. Recently, I had been feeling sluggish and have been distracted with everything going on in my life. These Neuro mints, however, have allowed me to stay on task and have stayed calm, cool, collected, as well as alert, and I've been able to change my approach and focus on the task at hand. Go to my sponsor link now down below, tryneurogum.com/JKB to enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it. What is up, folks? Welcome back. This is the dawn of a new era. Okay, maybe not, but I'm definitely going to try. I know I've said this before. I sound like a broken record, but I love doing these so much. This is the majority of my channel has been live streams. I know I put out a lot of videos, and believe it or not, I like doing those the least. But you know, when you get into a rhythm, it's hard to get out of it. I love doing the shows. That's not what I'm talking. I mean, the standalone videos where I'm not even recording a show, so to speak, not engaging with anybody. My least favorite thing by far to make content wise. Well, I don't know. Maybe YouTube Shorts. I'd probably say are my least favorite content thing. But yeah, we're back, and I plan on being back more and more and more, interacting with you guys more and more and more. You know, I put together that member thing at the beginning. Just really appreciate you guys. I finally, either YouTube finally added it, or I found the list on how to download your member list. So I had like 60 something members. I had to put them all, you know, on a graphic, and a lot of members. So really appreciate you guys there. Yeah, we've been grinding. I may have not seen you. I haven't been live a lot, so, you know, but we're pounding the stump in regards to Off the Edge. Believe in Rams is on a little bit of a hiatus. We'll be back next week. You know, but that's pretty much that. So yeah, back to interacting with you guys, and you know, I really am excited to get started and talk. I'm changing up a little bit. I want the JE Lives to be more about what's on my mind and less about just one specific topic. But today, I really, what is on my mind right now is Cooper Kupp. The reason being is because I put out a list, top 10. If you guys haven't seen it already, definitely check it out after this thing. Top 10 wide receivers going into 2023 on the Off the Edge show that I do with Cameron Lynch. And I thought I had some good debate. I thought I had some good points, but I had some good debate with Cam about Cooper Kupp. Then I went to Twitter, with my findings, because you guys know me when I have a project that I have created myself, because it's not like I have a teacher or something to assign me something to do. I get into it. And when I get into it, I get into it. So I made a tweet, which has gotten, 26,000 views since 4 o'clock today. And it was comparing Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson. I just said, who's better, Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson? And I put their per game average the last 2 years, catch percentage, all of that. Then someone asked me to do the last 3 years. And even though, I did all that work, and it was a lot of work, I did the last 3 years, although there wasn't as much engagement on that. So I wanted to talk about Kupp because I think that, people say, I'm not sleeping on Kupp. I'm not disrespecting Kupp. I don't have anything against Kupp. Kupp is great. It's just he's not Justin Jefferson. And that's the case. He's not Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's not Cooper Kupp, because if Justin Jefferson was Cooper Kupp, his drop rate would be better. He'd have more yards after the catch. He'd be a better blocker. But at the same time, if Cooper Kupp was Justin Jefferson, his average depth of target downfield would be higher. He'd probably have more yards. The thing about Cooper Kupp is that he wasn't blessed with the explosiveness and the long speed that Justin Jefferson was. So that's something to mention. Now, these two are the best receivers in football. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind these are the two best receivers in football. So, I think, and I understand what people are going to say. And Monty, thank you so much for donating there. I don't know why you're... Okay, there we go. Yeah. Thank you so much for the 5 there. Respect my brother. I'm from St. Louis. Been a fan since Tony Banks when they left St. Louis. I was hurt, but I remain a solid fan. Kupp will always show up. Yeah, Cooper Kupp, going into this year, I understand... there are people a little concerned. I think people on the outside, and I try to say this in a way that's not egotistical or coming off like I know more than everyone else, because obviously I don't know more than most of you guys because you watch the same games I do. But in terms of people that don't follow the Rams and have only watched, a select few games that have been on, prime time, I just can't stress enough. Cooper Kupp was among the league leaders when he got hurt this past year. And just what he was able to do in 2021 was so impressive. And I think that the issue I have is that it seems as though, and I saw this with the post I was making on YouTube, because I was like, who's better? And I posted the same thing on YouTube, and I got some people saying, well, that's not fair. You're comparing Justin Jefferson's first 3 years. You should be comparing Cooper Kupp's first 3 years. And I said, no. How does that make sense? If the whole point of this argument is to decide who's better, then why are we discussing what Cooper Kupp did his first 3 years in the league? That's 2017 to 2020. Who cares about that? Or 2017 through 2019. Who cares? I want to know who's better now. That's the point of the question. This isn't about making fun of Justin Jefferson's first 3 years. He just so happens to be in the conversation, and very much in the conversation for best receiver in his first 3 years. So if you want to say who's more likely to be the better receiver all time, yes, Justin Jefferson, absolutely. The way it stands right now will probably end up being better than Cooper Kupp in the long term, because what he's already doing at age, 24 is incredible. But we're talking about right now. And yes, Kupp may be 29, 30 years old, but right now I think Kupp is the better receiver. I'm sorry, but when you look at 2021, and you still have to bring up 2021, Cooper Kupp had the most consistent, season that we've seen in a while. And it's the greatest receiving season of all time. The only one that's even in the discussion is Calvin Johnson. And the thing that kind of annoys me when it comes to Cooper Kupp is that, I think it's just more so, that season was great. They won the Super Bowl, all that. but it's not appreciated the way it should be. A triple crown is a triple crown. And, I came out with today's top 10 rankings at the wide receiver position, and you see those names. Okay, you see those names and you're like, yeah, that's a good, healthy-looking wide receiver group in the NFL. You got Cooper Kupp. I had Justin Jefferson number 2. I had Tyreek Hill number 3, Devontae Adams 4, Stephon Diggs 5, A.J. Brown 6, Jamar Chase 7, CeeDee Lamb 8, Jalen Waddle 9, and Terry McLaurin 10. So there are other guys that I couldn't even put on there. Garrett Wilson, the reigning offensive rookie of the year, not even on the list. DeAndre Hopkins, not on the list. So it's a very healthy group of wide receivers in this league right now. So when I say Cooper Kupp's season is better than Justin Jefferson, is like, that's my thing that I'm getting at. People act like just because Cooper Kupp fell off last year because he got hurt and wasn't able to play the last 8 games of the year, it's not really falling off now, is it? Just because he fell off does not make Justin Jefferson the better receiver all of a sudden. Because Justin Jefferson's 2022 season, when you think about it, he has 17 games played, which he didn't have in 2020. They didn't play 17 games in 2020. By the way, I'll add his 2020 season is his best season of his career. I think without a doubt. And, the 2021 season was really good too. I think what people need to understand is if you go by expected points added total for the season, EPA, since 2016, if you go back and you look at the best seasons at the receiver position, EPA value since 2016, Cooper Kupp's EPA value is 112.9, meaning expected points added for Cooper Kupp for the entire 2021 season was 112.9. The next best receiver, folks, was Michael Thomas's ridiculous, reception season where he broke the reception record in 2019. And that was 99. So there's never been a triple-digit guy as far as EPA in the EPA era. So that's an incredible season. Cooper Kupp is just on another level, right? And my point is that Justin Jefferson's best season in EPA is 77.7 in 2021. So he's great, no doubt, and he has other metrics that will beat Cooper Kupp out. But one thing that he doesn't beat Cooper Kupp out is blocking, okay? He's not a better blocker. Then you look at yards after the catch ability. He doesn't beat Cooper Kupp out in that. Cooper Kupp is the best after the catch. You could argue Deebo Samuel might be better than him. That's about it. That's the only one who would be, he is phenomenal after the catch. And, I have the numbers right in front of me. I had the numbers, on Twitter. He has a better catch percentage, so he's an actual better natural hands catcher than Justin Jefferson. The route running, I think he's better, but you could argue Justin Jefferson's a fantastic route runner. It's not that Justin Jefferson isn't worth, discussing at number 1. It's just that I think Cooper Kupp is ahead of him. And I think going into 2023, which brings us to the point of, this whole thing, right? Brings us to the whole point is that at the end of the day, right? Cooper Kupp was on pace with an extrapolated season over 17 games for 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, over 100 receptions. This guy was still him, okay? Now he's getting a chance to have all that time off. You can use the you can use the injuries all you want, but that time off is going to be significant. I don't think we're talking about it enough. I think that time off is going to be significant. Same thing with Stafford. So now you go into this year, and the big thing is that, Cooper Kupp's had this guy and this guy and this guy. Well, he hasn't, because last year it's not like anybody was doing him any favors. They weren't taking double teams away from him and things like that. Allen Robinson and, Matthew Stafford weren't on the same page. So the way I see it is that Cooper Kupp could potentially have as good of a season as he did in 2021. And the reason I say that is because the 17-game season allows for that to even happen. So that's something to be fair to Calvin Johnson, he did that in 16 games. But Cooper Kupp is coming back, had all that time off. He's going to be on the same page as Stafford. The next best guy at the receiver position is Van Jefferson, okay? So big opportunities here. Kupp is going to get a lot of targets. And I think he could be on the same level, as he normally is. But the question is, how good is he going to be in 2023? And I mean, I'm curious. What do you guys think in the comments section? We'll interact here as I finished my opener, right? My opening statement. But no, I was going through the numbers, and I think Justin Jefferson is a fantastic receiver. So this is not a knock on him. But I think, like, I saw, what was it? DeAndre Hopkins, top receivers or what? And he's got Cooper Kupp not even in the top 5. Like, to me, I'm kind of over that, okay? The whole game recognizes game. Well, apparently nobody recognizes Cooper Kupp's game if we're going to keep him out of the top 5, because that's ludicrous. Guy had 1,900 yards. Just because he got hurt last year and you forgot about him doesn't mean he doesn't exist. It's different. So with Michael Thomas, I'll get pushback and say, well, hey, you're saying injuries don't matter with Cooper Kupp, then why do they matter with Michael Thomas? Well, here's the difference. Cooper Kupp in 2021 had 1,940, right, for yards. He had 16 touchdowns. Michael Thomas has had not even 600 yards since 2019. Like, we don't even know what Michael Thomas is anymore. Okay? I'm sure he's still talented, but we don't know what he is. Do you know what he is? I don't. With Derek Carr, who knows? He could be great. He could come back and he could be the best receiver in the league. But as of right now, I don't know who the hell Michael Thomas is going to be. I don't. And you shouldn't either. How should you know? He's had 600 yards since 2019. So it's kind of where I'm at, but let's look at some of these. So to address this, why ads? I got to make money. So just the straight up transparency is that I don't choose when the ads happen. YouTube has an auto ad thing during live streams, but full transparency, this is my job. All my content creation is my job. It's how I make money. I got to make money. I'm sorry. So, the only thing I can say is that I know YouTube has like a no ads thing. I've never used it before, but yeah, no, I mean, no disrespect. It's more so just letting you guys know, like, I'm not hiding anything. I just got to make money. So I'm also here to chat and do that, but also got to get that bag too, like you're saying. Yeah. Although it's not exactly a bag, but every little bit helps. I don't know if he's a way better route runner, Monty, but he's a very good route runner for sure. And I think Kupp is one of the best route runners in the league. So do I do with Justin Jefferson as well. I think he's the best wide receiver in the league. What's up, HD? Yeah, I don't think Hopkins is coming anywhere near the Rams, though. I like this. Just seen your top 10 list. Scary Terry is on top of Waddle and Lamb, in my opinion. Give him a decent quarterback, and I'm sure he's up there. Yeah, Joseph, and we might be the only ones because, aside from Cam, who was talking about Terry McLaurin maybe being in that top 10, we had a nice conversation about that on the show. I get a lot of pushback about Terry McLaurin being in the top 10. Look, like you're saying, I mean, he literally hasn't had a top 25 quarterback in his career, and he's like the Nick Chubb at wide receiver. Just the guy just constantly. He's consistent. He's productive. Yeah, he's a stud. If you haven't followed, by the way, Nick Chubb, he's like 4 yards away from having 1,000 his rookie year and having 1,000 every year of his career. And he's had every single year he's had at least 5 yards per carry average. I mean, he's been incredible. He really has. He was number 2 on my list behind CMC. I believe he had a slow season in the beginning, but he heat up in the middle of the season and finished strong with 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. That's interesting. I don't see Cooper Kupp starting off slow because I think they're going to need him to win those games early on in the season when there's not a lot of experience on this team, right? So you're going to need him early on. Teams might want to try to take him away, but I don't think they'll be able to. Oh, yeah. The only one who might be better than Cooper Kupp after the catch is probably Deebo Samuel. Because Deebo Samuel just breaks tackles like he's a freaking running back. So if you want to say Deebo Samuel is better after the catch, I'm not going to hate on you for that. I may not like the guy. I don't want to say I dislike him. I don't know him personally. But, sports dislike, I guess. He may not be my favorite player, if you will, but he's a heck of a player. But I don't think he's a top 10 receiver because I think while he's great in that aspect, I think he rounds off his routes too much. He doesn't make quick in-breaking routes. He doesn't stop on a dime. And he catches with his body. I see a lot of that, just letting it into his chest. I don't like that. So love him after the catch as a football fan, not as a Ram fan. He's fantastic after the catch, but that's Debo's issue. It's why he wasn't in my top 10. But I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, Jalen Ramsey had him at number 3 or whatever. So Jack says Super Kupp. Kupp is 29. Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. And like, that's also another thing. So what I find with people is that to prove their point, they'll give you half of the story. So what I mean by this is if we're having the ring discussion or, we're having the argument against Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, okay? Rings matter in that case. Tom Brady has more rings, and so that's what the person would say. But my issue is if I say Cooper Kupp has better, in the last 3 years, if we're comparing the last 3 years of Cooper Kupp and, say, Justin Jefferson, if I say he has a better, postseason production, has better postseason production because he does, at that point, then it will be like, well, he's only been in one playoff game or whatever, right? And for me, it's like, well, okay, but he does. Like when Justin Jefferson was needed, he had 7 catches for 47 yards. When Cooper Kupp was needed, he had one of the most dominant postseason runs in NFL history for a wide receiver. So I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about that. But yeah, very hardworking Cooper Kupp is. Van Jefferson is swole now. I think he always was to a degree, but yeah, he does look a little bit bigger. It's also OTAs, so it'll be interesting, Rod. I don't know. I'm bearish on I'm bearish on him a little bit. Like I like Puka, but I think first year I got burned on Van Jefferson. He had like less than 300 yards his first year. So since then I'm a little conservative on the he's going to be great this year in his rookie year. Not saying that's what you're saying, but just in general, I'm always kind of, appreciate that, William. Yeah, got to make that coin. Yeah. Cooper Kupp looks huge. I agree with that. And that's my thing. Like, I think Puka has his work cut out for him because I think they really like Tutu Atwell and they really like Skoranek. So, and that's one of those ones where if you don't follow the Rams, if you don't cover the Rams, then you probably don't think those guys are any good. You don't look at them. And then you see a guy like Puka Nacua that gets drafted and you instantly are going to be like, the light bulb's going to go off. And you're like, oh, Puka Nacua is better. But if you're not following the Rams, you don't know what Skoranek is. You don't know what Atwell is. So I guess the Cardinals are picking Harrison Jr. for the next draft to replace D-Hop. I don't know about that. I think the Cardinals might end up with, I've said this, I think they might end up with Caleb Williams. I really do. Cardinals are going to be the worst team in football. I've said it. I'm standing by it. I think Michael Wilson's going to be really good, but I don't know if it'll be this year. But yeah, the Cardinals, I'm not very high on Arizona. I mean, Sko is solid. I don't think Ben Skoranek is going to be this elite receiver or anything, but I think they have something with him and they know it. Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, he's like an extension of the coaching staff, which, McVay praises, and I think that works out well, very much. Sean McVay's a better coach. I think Pete Carroll beats him, obviously, in the longevity. I think Pete Carroll's a hell of a coach, okay? Like, just to keep that team consistently winning, I think Pete Carroll maybe is a little bit more consistent than McVay, but I think McVay has higher highs than Pete Carroll's, and I think that's what I would say. Yeah, the Cardinals are putrid. Definitely see that. Yeah, you might not be wrong. Definitely might not be wrong. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in LaFleur's offense, there's more of if they go with LaFleur route, there's more pass catching out of the backfield. And I think I've highlighted this in a few videos back, when they first got him or they were looking at getting him. They want to use Cam Akers out of the backfield. They want to use Kyren Williams as a third down guy. They might use Zach Evans. They might use Ryan Rivers. Like, we don't know, but that will take a considerable chunk away from guys like Puka Nacua in the receiving game. I said this to my friend Michael, and I'll say this again. If Puka Nacua gets more than 20 receptions this year, I will genuinely be shocked. Not that he's a bad player. Again, it's just I just don't expect rookie receivers to just blow up like that, especially out of the fifth round. Van Jefferson was the second rounder and barely got the ball. So, I just temper my expectations on that. Yeah, I think Taylor's going to help you on special teams, really aggressive. And then I think when you look at that safety room, Jordan Fuller can't stay healthy. So hopefully he's able to. But if he can't, that opens up a door. And then you have Russ Yeast and Quentin Lake has dealt with some injuries. He's healthy now, but, he started off his career banged up. So there's definitely room to carve out a role there, for Jason Taylor the second. But yeah. So how are we all doing? It's a little dead tonight. Need to have a better distribution of the ball. And to be honest, Puka and Kupp shouldn't share the field too often unless Kupp moves away from lining up slot majority of the time. Yeah, that's true. What annoys me is that, like, people who don't watch the Rams, the biggest knock on Cooper Kupp is they always say he plays too much in the slot, which I'm like, I don't care where the guy's playing. I mean, at the end of the day, he's proven he could win at every level, so it's not really a big deal for me. But yeah. That's a good question. I could see Jason Taylor. I could see Zach Evans. I could see Puka Nacua. I could see Atwell. I mean, a lot of different guys. That's going to be a battle, and they're going to have to figure it out. That might not be something they figure out for, until the middle of the season. They don't have Brandon Powell anymore, so it is a little bit up in the air. But so the way I see it is I think they're going to try and roll with Trey Lance because they have to, because they spent all that, that capital. But if that doesn't go well, then they'll probably give Sam Darnold a shot. They really like Sam Darnold. I mean, he showed you some promise, but I don't know. It's a little weird, especially like Brock Purdy and what he did. Just, I'm not saying Brock Purdy is God's gift, but, a little surprised to see them maybe quickly move on from him. And they might not even do that, So, yeah, I'm not sure. I will say this. I think Lance is not a bust. I think Lance can play. I think he just needs some time. And when he figures it out, he's going to be really good. He's still young. I think that's the thing that kind of gets lost in translation there because, he started one season, didn't throw an interception. He didn't get to play his last year, threw in a what was it? Like a showcase game. He only threw one interception. I mean, when I look at Trey Lance, first off, I absolutely loved his tape. He just turned 23 in May 9th. So I'm not out on him. There are people that are. I am not. I think, going and working out with Mahomes and his quarterback coach, or, whatever, his quarterback. I guess he's a coach, off-season guy. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he worked with him. He fixed his delivery. I wouldn't sleep on Trey Lance, especially in that very quarterback-friendly offense. I mean, if he could add an extra dimension to that offense, the 49ers could win the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, that's the thing that should be scaring people. Well, if their plan to get Christopher Dunn, yes, no. If their plan was to get Christopher Dunn as just the kicker and then use their punter as the guy because he can have those touchbacks, I guess it's not as effective, but it still is. You're still going to have teams that don't want to do the fair catch. You're still going to have teams that feel like they need an explosive play. But I mean, I guess it affects it to a degree. I don't like the decision at all. I don't like that. I think there are other things that they need to focus on, not that, but I like Vincent Gray, who they claimed off waivers. I did a video on him. I like Tamarcus Davis. I like Xavier Smith, I think it is. I'm blanking on the names. I like Tyon Evans, but I didn't really delve too much into the UDFAs. I'm probably going to do that as we get closer to camp because, until training camp, none of these guys are guaranteed to make the roster. The UDFAs, they'll get cut. There are guys that can get cut before training camp even starts. So I'm just waiting to see the full training camp roster at that point, and then we'll have an idea. Yeah, Jordan Love. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what ends up happening with him. Definitely. I have mixed feelings. The reason I say that is because, they have to bring back Austin Reeves and Rui. And, I mean, it's like, do you want Austin Reeves being your point guard? Maybe not. I think really what it comes down to is you probably want to play Davis at the 4 and get a true 5. But I don't know. I don't want Kyrie Irving. I can tell you that right now. I will veto any Kyrie Irving talk. I will say no to that. I mean, you can talk about it. I'm just not going to agree. I do not want Kyrie Irving on this basketball team. No way. No way. So fun thing for you guys. Tomorrow, I'm trying to decide if I want to do it. I mean, I don't have tons of money to be just spending, but tomorrow, Antonio Brown, yes, the Steelers, great. The guy that took his shirt off, at the Patriots, all that. Buccaneers, I think it was. Antonio Brown, okay, is the owner of my local arena football team in Albany. And it's funny to me because he became the owner and then the coach left and a bunch of guys left and whatnot. And now he's going to play. So I think he's the first owner to ever play in any sport, if I'm not mistaken. But he's going to play tomorrow. He's going to suit up tomorrow. And I'm debating whether or not I want to go. I think it'd just be cool. Tickets are going to be expensive because it's Antonio Brown. But, man, can you imagine? What if he just pops off? I mean, this is somebody that was in the NFL not long ago. There's still teams that were interested in him. They didn't want it to come to light, I was told. But There are teams that are interested in him, monitoring his situation, everything. I think he's done personally in the NFL. I don't think a team's going to go after him just because of, his mental state. But I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool, to see him in the Arena League, and just see like what an NFL caliber player. And I mean, NFL players have played in the Arena League before, but I mean, just like, this is one of the greatest receivers of all time. I mean, no matter what you think about Antonio Brown, the person, he was just so dominant. And, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, you let me know in the comments section. Should I go? Should I not go? But it makes sense because his dad, Downtown Eddie Brown, is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Arena League player. He played for the Albany Firebirds. And so that's why he, was familiar with the area, and that's why Antonio Brown owns the Albany Empire. So, let's see. If Rams can come out 3-3, the first 6 games will be over 500. Yeah, and I think that's definitely doable, for sure. How about Young for the Lakers? Trae Young? Yeah, I mean, it really depends. I saw a Trae Young trade I would do in a heartbeat, but I mean, is Atlanta going to offer it? And I think Trae Young is a stud. I mean, I'd love to have him. I think he'd bring in a nice new era for Lakers basketball. I mean, you're only going to have LeBron for 2 more years, maybe 1 more tops. He's not retiring, I don't think. So, I think Trae Young would bring like a renewed energy, I think, to Lakers basketball. He'd be young, no pun intended. But I mean, he's a really young player. And then, you have that 3-point barrage ability. I mean, the guy can really hit the 3 ball. He can make any shot. Yeah, he turns 25 in September. So, man, I didn't realize how much. You put in one Google search, and it's like Trae Young, and it's just Lakers everything. I don't know. Where is Zeke? Top, I would say the top prediction there for, 1 through 5 on the offensive line. Left tackle, Alec Jackson. I think when you look at the offensive line, they could go different routes. They could go with Joe Noteboom. They have, what's his face? The guy from Michigan State who they got, Curry. But I think it's going to be Alec Jackson. I don't think they're going to go and get a veteran because they let, if they wanted to do that, Isaiah Wynn was practically free on the market and the Dolphins got him. So, yeah, I think it's Alec Jackson. He played really well. Then he had the blood clots, which held him back, but I'd like to see him. And then left guard, I think it's going to be, Steve Avila. Center, I think it's going to be Brian Allen. I would personally, I would go with Coleman Shelton. Right guard, I think it's going to be Logan Bruss. And right tackle will be Rob Havenstein, I think. That's where I'm leaning right now. I could see Bruss sitting the bench 1 more year and having Coleman Shelton be right guard. But I think it's smarter to have the backup not on the field. Because if your center goes down, now all of a sudden you put Coleman Shelton in there. If Coleman Shelton goes down, now you don't have a backup center. So, Yeah, Eric, I loved Guardians 3. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was an S-tier Marvel film. So I would agree with you. Yeah, FVV. That'd be an interesting fit for the Lakers. Yeah, he does it all. I mean, I don't know. Depends. Because the problem is I don't want Austin Reeves and Rui to go anywhere. I think they're perfect fits. I don't think you need to go crazy. I still feel like they're going to mess it up and probably let go of Rui or something stupid, but whatever. We'll see what ends up happening in the offseason. Yeah, but if you get Fred VanVleet, who's probably going to want a max deal, you're not going to be able to afford those guys. There's just not that much cap space. There's not that much luxury tax space, I would say I think the Rams would be open to moving the first round pick if they know it's not going to be a high pick, first off. And second, they're way ahead of expectations. Like if at the deadline they're punching up around the 7-2 mark and they feel like they're missing one piece and they could actually win a Super Bowl with that team, I think they would consider it. If they're 5-5 or, below 500, I don't think they would. I think if they are 6-4, 7-3, something along those lines, then I would think, and I think I'm probably messing that up because this is like week 8 or whatever. Anyway, you get my point. If they're a little bit above 500 and they feel like they need an extra jolt, and it's a guy that could add to their long term, like maybe you go out and you get a Montez Sweat in the at the trade deadline, or Chase Young, and you're able to sign him to a deal with next year's salary cap jump because you're going to have a lot of space. I get that. He's going to be a part of your roster. I would say they're not going to – I really don't see them trading the first round pick. I think if they trade anything, it's going to be it's going to be a day 2 to like a mid-day 3. If they feel they need a jolt of energy off the edge or something like that, I could see that. Okay, if they feel like they need another receiver, I could see that. But for the most part, I feel like the Rams, they definitely wouldn't rule out a trade. I don't think they're going to trade a first rounder unless something massive shows up at their doorstep that they can't pass up on. The Jets won't get rid of. I think Becton's going to start. He's lost a lot of weight, and I think the Jets still like him. So yeah, I don't see him going anywhere. Yeah. I will say this, though. DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion, isn't a top 10 receiver, and Jalen Ramsey's the number 1 cornerback in the league. Jalen Ramsey's also a little bit younger than Hopkins, so I wouldn't combine the two. I think they're kind of their own thing. But yeah. I'm a Suns fan. What do you think they should do? I think they should trade CP3 to the Clippers for Terrence Mann and Norman Powell and a first rounder for 2024, and trade Dayton for MPJ. I think DeAndre Ayton's better than MPJ. I was not very impressed with MPJ in that series. I feel like he just, at the end of the day, he's just a shooter. I think you can get more. The Suns need to go back. I like your idea of going out and getting Mann and Powell, because I think they need to go back to where they were going towards. Okay, you had a bench. You had Cam Johnson. You had Mikal Bridges. Bridges was turning into a star. And I said, when they trade away Bridges, I'm like, Suns are done. They're not winning anything. Sure enough, they didn't win anything. Sorry. I know you're a Suns fan. I'm not trying to roast you. I'm just saying, when people were pushing back and saying, KD, they're going to go. I'm like, no. They messed up. That was not a good trade. So they need to get back to where they were. They need to get some role players. Here's the big surprise to people is that if you're not paying attention, the NBA right now, you know how you win a title? You have a big 2 and really, really solid core group of players. 3 good starters, 2 elite guys, and a good bench that can shoot. That's the formula. And when you look at the Nuggets, well, that's the formula. They got Jokic. They got, why is his name escaping me? He destroyed the Lakers. Jamal Murray. But those are their stars. They don't have any other stars. They have good, role players. They have good starters and really good bench. And so I think that's really where we're at right now in the NBA. So when everyone's like, got to go get Kyrie Irving, you got to have a third guy in LA. No, you're not paying attention. The way the league is gone, you simply can't sustain 3 max deals anymore. It's a 2 max deal league, and you go out and you get good starters that can shoot, that can play defense. You get role players. That's the league. Now, why is it that way? Well, because the top guys want to get paid top. And the mid-tier guys are getting paid like up here now. So because of that, it's just really expensive to keep anybody. It's why, now Austin Reeves is going to be so much money. It's now like Rui is going to be so much money. I mean, back in the day, you could get a Rui or Austin Reeves for about $5 million a year. Now it's going to be like Austin Reeves is going to be like the max deal that you can offer for a restricted free agent, and Rui's going to be pushing around $12 million a year. That's not sustainable if you get 3 max deals on your books. That's why the Lakers were having trouble with Russell Westbrook. It's why they had the formula. Even as a Russell Westbrook fan, I didn't understand the trade because they had the formula to win. They just needed LeBron and Davis, and they needed, a core group of guys around, and they didn't need a third star. They overreacted. It's funny. The Suns overreacted and went and got KD, and the Lakers went and overreacted after the Suns beat the Lakers, and Anthony Davis was hurt. So they overreacted. They changed everything they were doing, and then boom, it blew up in their face. So I don't see it. Mainly because teams are 0-150 in that attempt, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Maybe someday, but all right, I'll say that. Maybe someday, because the odds were crazy, 1 versus 16. No 16 has ever beaten 1, and now we've seen it 2 years. We've seen it 2 times in the last, 5 years? So I won't say it's out of the question, but I'm not feeling great about the Celtics going and winning, in 7 games. Starting group I had mentioned earlier. I think it's going to be Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, Brian Allen from left to right, of course, Coleman Shelton or Logan Bruss at right guard, and then Havenstein at right tackle. Yeah, it's just I think Ayton's better than that, so I think you can get more for Ayton is what I'm saying. That was weird. Yeah, I mean, I think Avila can be a Pro Bowler. The stuff I'm hearing out of OTAs, I mean, he's the real deal. How's it going? Yeah, I think Tutu Atwell is going to have a significant role. I would be surprised if Lance McCutcheon caught 10 passes this year. I don't know how big of a role he will have. He's probably going to be on special teams. If he makes the team, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams cut him and they go with just, Kupp, Atwell, Van Jefferson, Ben Skoranek, and Puka Nacua. If they go with just 5 receivers, I wouldn't be shocked. They're going to have to figure that out, though. They're going to need a lot of help on the defensive side, too. So they might cut a receiver to add a DB or something because they don't have a lot of depth that's proven. So they kind of have to figure it out as they go. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't call him Joel Bitonio or Quentin Nelson, but I think he's kind of similar to Joel Bitonio. He's my comp. I wouldn't say he's not right out of the box going to be Joel Bitonio or Quentin Nelson. I think maybe Bitonio's possible. Nelson is a franchise guard. Nelson is just a generational guard. So I don't know if it'll be Quentin Nelson, but he's going to be really good. I'm very, very high on him. The Falcons look good. Falcons offense looks good. Their offensive line's one of the best in the league. I actually ranked them. I'll let you know, give you a little sneak peek. I'm going to be doing off the edge next week. We'll be doing, next up is tight ends, and we got offensive line. I have the Falcons at 4, I believe. Yeah. So I don't know. I think when you look at the Falcons, Bijan Robinson wasn't a need, but now they have him. They have Algier. They can kind of do some fun things with those two. They got, that offensive line is kicking. I like Desmond Ridder a lot. Drake London's really good. And, the offensive line, they got Jake Matthews. They're going to have Matt Bergeron at guard, which is great. Drew Dahlman, another year at center. You got Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry. It's one of the best offensive lines in all of football. What's up, Isaac? How you doing? No tanking. None. No tanking. I don't blame you there. Not really a big fan of Josh McDaniels either. I agree the cornerback room looks a little concerning. Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I like the guys there. Although I feel like I'm mean, but like I have like a pick on Darion Kendrick. I don't know what to make of him, Am I all right? I mean, I'm slouching a little bit. My back is killing me from the Foo Fighters concert, but I'm good. I'm not out of it. You guys think I'm out of it? You're funny. Yeah, I started noticing comments on those videos where I said shut up about Caleb Williams or whatever it was. And it was like, I got one like, tank for Drake May. And I'm like, because I said shut up about Caleb Williams and I didn't say shut up about Drake May, but you get my point. I just don't like the tanking. Sue's not coming back, and I don't know if he's going to come back to the league. He might. I think he's really just trying to skip OTAs and maybe most training camp. But I think they're going to roll with what they have. When do I think that the first round pick will be used? I mean, I think they're going to be picking probably in the 20s. That's where I have them. And, if that's the case, then maybe they trade down, maybe they trade up, I don't know if they'll necessarily pick there. I can't picture the Rams picking and not trading out of their first round pick. Like, I could totally see them trading down to like the late portion of the first round or trading out of it altogether. They just have too much experience and have done too much without a first round pick to need to pick one right then and there. And when the concert was great. So a little insight on that. You might have seen my post about the Foo Fighters. I got some not so nice fan mail. What I will say to that is I'm going to start posting what I want. I post a lot of football content. I go live and talk to you guys, but I think in order for me to keep my mental state totally normal and focused, I got to also post about things that I want to post about, because there's a reason why this channel is called Jake Ellenbogen, not Jake Ellenbogen talks about football or NFL football or whatever it is, So this channel will house all that. It'll house, Off the Edge. It'll house Believe in Rams, Downtown Rams, my JE Lives, So it's one of those things where it's like you're constantly being told, oh, yeah, you can't post that. You can't post that. And then I get, I had like 40 unsubscriptions, whatever the hell you want to call it. I had 40 people unsub yesterday. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, I understand, like, okay, Foo Fighters isn't your thing, but like, just don't watch the video. So, to make a long story short, the concert was fantastic. It was historical because it was the first concert Foo Fighters has had since Taylor passed away. And this was the first time they were playing as a band with their new drummer. So I was able to go to that show. My brother, hooked me up with tickets. We were in like the front row, and it was just a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Really good stress reliever. I've definitely been feeling it lately. I always kind of feel it a little bit, but I still haven't recovered. If you haven't noticed, I still haven't recovered from draft season. So I got to get back to that. I think I will be soon, but my brain's still a little scrambled. I'll still forget things, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I have loved it. It's fantastic. I thought it was a top tier MCU movie, top 5 definitely. James Gunn just did a fantastic job. Just definitely recommend Guardians 3. That's the plan. I got options. The Giants. That's New Year's Eve. I got the Giants. I get the Ravens in Baltimore. And then I can go to LA. And if I go to LA, I want to go to the Steelers game. I'd like to go with my cousin, who's a Steelers fan, who you guys know, because for a little bit I did that show with him, the AJ show. So I'm considering it. I think it'd be fun. I mean, I'm not an Antonio Brown fan, but I just think it's one of those cool moments as a football fan. You get a chance to see Antonio Brown play maybe the last bunch of football that he'll ever play. This is a Hall of Fame receiver. No matter what you think about the person, it's definitely fair to see that, To be honest, I see the Rams picking a tackle or cornerback if we still have our first pick. I don't know who really knows until we get there. Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't do a way too early because I have no idea who they're going to keep. I have no idea. I'd like to see, if they picked way early, I'd like to see them pick Joe Alt, the tackle from Notre Dame, but don't put too much stock into that because I haven't really watched, because I'm not going to watch these prospects until January. I don't have time. Not going to do it. Serious question. Do you know what the Rams' direction is leaning towards? I'm totally lost as a Rams fan. Yes, let me help you out here. The Rams are trying to win in a transitional year. So they're transitioning to the next era of Rams football. But as they do that, they've already gotten the okay from guys like Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald that they can do this. And these guys aren't going to complain. And they're going to follow through on this process. And in this transitional season, I don't think the Rams are going into the season saying we can't win a Super Bowl. But I think they're going into the season saying their focus is let's get to the playoffs. Let's make the most out of this, right? So that's how I would say. That's how I would, if I were to explain where the Rams are at right now, they're trying to make do with what the hand they've been dealt. They spent a lot of their cap. They took a lot of those cap penalties, and they're paying it back. But they're trying to do it all in 1 year, so it's not a long-term thing. And so because they have a fantastic coach, they still have stars, they feel like they can win football games this way. And to be honest with you, I can't blame them. I think their floor is 7-10. I think their ceiling's 11-6. So if you want to know where your team is right now, they're trying to compete. They're not all in. They're not one player away. They're going to take, it might take some time, but this is a team that towards the end of this season, they could be playing some of the best football in the league. I think at the start, you might see some growing pains. And it won't be from guys like Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers and so forth. It would be from rookies. It'd be from, the younger guys. But I think that, I think this team can compete. And I think they think so too. So if you're wondering what the direction is, this year's a transitional year. 2024, they're going to go all out after it, I think. 2025 will be the year where they go into it assuming they're going to be the top dog. I think that's what their plan is, to get back to the top status. Not be good, be great. That's why they're doing this. They could be good if they just ran it back again, spent a lot of cap space that they didn't have. Yeah, they could have been good, but they wouldn't have been great. So they're just trying to find some sustainability, with their team. And I can't say I blame them. And that's the thing. And is that a problem? No. Because as long as you have this, hey, we're on the same page here. We're trying to make this is a transitional season. It's a short-term pain for a long-term gain. Okay. When you have Sean McVay, you're still in it. We've seen guys, like we've seen teams that weren't as good as this team that were coached by Jeff Fisher win 7 games. If you don't think Sean McVay can get 7 wins out of this team and then some, I don't know what to tell you. But he can. They have one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's a top 10 quarterback. They have the best receiver. They have the best defensive tackle. We'll see, but that's where we're at right now. That's true. Am I an anime fan? Very, very, very strict to just Dragon Ball and Pokemon. That's it. And I'm not like avid into the current Pokemon. Like I'll go back and I'll watch the old ones, the Indigo League and whatnot, the Orange Islands. I'm not really a huge fan of the older stuff, the newer stuff. I might watch it at some point, but I'm so far behind. I'm on like season 3 or whatever. I haven't watched it in a minute, but with Dragon Ball, I could watch that anytime. I've watched everything. And when I say Dragon Ball, I'm not just talking about the show. I'm talking about Z. I'm talking about GT. I'm talking about Super. All of that. I love all of that. But no, I'm not an anime fan per se. Because like when people are like, oh, hey, like you should check out One Piece. I would never watch One Piece. Something against One Piece. Like, you do you like it. I just don't want to get sucked into another giant anime. And I really don't care for most of the styles. I just think Pokemon's kind of cool, like the style, the art style. And I absolutely love Dragon Ball. I think it's the best art style by far. So that's where I'm at. Like Naruto is kind of cool, but it's been years since I watched that, and I couldn't even tell you anything really about it. So, there are other ones as well, but that's where I stand on that. Jake the Snake, your brain is still scrambled from the draft, then you're still not all right. I'm all right. I mean, another thing, just to explain, people are probably wondering, I don't know if I even said this, but I finally started getting comments like, Jake, you look like Alexis threw stones at you. Or Jake, you look like you got bit or you got attacked by a wasp. Or you got attacked by a wasp nest. The reason I have all this on my face, although it's really cleared up, thank God, I took a medication and I was allergic to it. Crazy. But, I was dealing with pollen, and the pollen around here in upstate New York is brutal. Allergic to that. So now I got a headache, and so then I took some medicine for the headache, and when I took the medicine, wasn't that long after, I had just, rashes and hives everywhere. So it was pretty crazy, honestly. And I had a really bad allergic reaction. I didn't go to like the hospital or anything like that because my throat didn't close up or anything, but it took a lot out of me, man. It was so yeah, I guess I'm still fighting back from that. I'm almost fully 100%, I would say. Not quite. Definitely not my back because I stood for like 10 hours at the Foo Fighters show, but
Here's what I found.
Did anyone hear that? Was that just me? Like, Siri's trying to literally have a conversation with me, and I'm just like, bruh. Here's what I found. That was so weird. Oh, it's my watch. Your pollen allergies are overwhelming. This might be why. Pollen can also trigger an asthma attack. Yes, I have asthma. What the hell, man? My watch is like listening to me. I'm just talking. I'm just telling you guys what's going on. And Siri's like, oh, never fear. I'm here. I got the diagnostics right here. Like, what the hell? That was so weird, man. No. Nope. I never moved to LA. I was very close to. I wanted to. I wouldn't do it anymore. I've heard some things that I just don't. It just doesn't fit my vibe. That's as simple as I'd make it. I like LA as a destination spot for vacations, but I'd love to meet you guys. But yeah, I'm not gonna be moving to LA. I came really close back in 2019 to 2020, but no. And it's for the best, you know. I'm a New Yorker, and when I move, what I'm planning on doing is at some point I'll own a house in New York and I'll own a house in Florida. That's what I want to do. My family's in Florida. That I love Florida. I think that's really my plan. New York and Florida, and then occasionally visiting in LA. Trust me, when I went to LA 3 times on vacation, I was like, this is where I want to live. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to live there. Like I want to live, I want to stay in my area that I know I'm comfortable in, that I'm safe in, and I love my neck of the woods. Like I know it's weird because I used to complain about it. I hated it. I went through a phase where I was like, no, everything about it sucks. And look, I'm not saying it has a ton of stuff to do. It doesn't have Dodger Stadium right there. It doesn't have the Staples Center here. It doesn't have SoFi Stadium. You know, I don't have the beach. I don't care about the beach personally. I don't like the beach at all, but a lot of people do. So I don't have like the beach right next to me, right? You know, California has a lot. I don't have that. I don't have Disney land or whatever. I don't have Universal. You know, I don't have Hollywood, the Hollywood sign. No, I don't have those attractions. But I like the quiet. I like the laid backness of my life. And it's funny because, you know, I remember I was talking to somebody the other day, and it's like this assumption that I would be like super happy-go-lucky in person and very like talkative. And the thing is, I think I was at one point, but lately, not lately, but over the last few years, I've gotten a little bit more, not shy, but more laid back. And I think if I met any of you guys, I'd be, you know, I'd be happy-go-lucky. I'd be talkative. But if I don't know you, like, I don't know. I don't know if that was COVID or whatever, but over time, I was just kind of like, you know, I just got more laid back. That's another thing. I don't have to worry about that. I don't live in a big city. I'm not in New York City. It's funny. You say New York, and immediately people's minds who don't live around here immediately like, oh, New York City? How close are you to the Statue of Liberty? And I'm like, 3.5 hours away. It's not in my backyard, you know? Not that I blame anybody. I mean, I don't expect everyone to know where I live, but, you know. It's funny. I used to be open about where I lived and like the town I lived in and everything and how cool it was. But then I started getting all these like death threats and stuff from Miley Cyrus fans because I said Demi Lovato came out with a better rock album. And they didn't like that too well. They're also psychotic. So if they see this, yes, you're psychotic. Stans are the worst. Like you could say you're a Rams stan. You're not a Rams stan. Stans literally want to go out of their way to harm other people because they have different opinions. Those are stans. The psychopaths. Like, fan is one thing. Fans are fanatics. Stans are psycho. But anyway. Allergies are the worst. Allergies absolutely are the worst. That is really funny. That's very funny, actually. AI is taking over. I don't like it at all. I don't want T-Hop. It's crazy out here. You don't want to move here. 2 hours away from LA and wouldn't move there. That's what it's all about. Antoine, you have the right approach. See, like, I mean, I don't want to tell anybody how they should live. I mean, you know, but I don't want to live in the city. Period. I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with getting, you know, held up at gunpoint or knife point or whatever. I mean, is that still possible any day? Sure. But I'd rather it not happen in my backyard, you know? So, yeah, I like my area. I'm not saying that that's all LA is, but, you know, I don't trust people. I think it's important to not be too trustworthy. You just don't know people nowadays. Someone's on the side of the road. Do you want to help them? Yes. Can you trust them? No, not in this day and age. It's sad. My parents taught me that at a young age. Like, man, like, I want to help this person out. I feel so bad. They're on the side of the road. They're, it's on the throughway. Can't help them out. If you go and try to help them out, I mean, you've seen those Criminal Minds shows. Do you want to end up in the news? No, you don't want to end up in the news. Like, it sucks. I live 45 minutes away and dread sometimes going to LA. Suburbs are great. I love them. I know there are people that hate on them, but personally, I don't care. I love the suburbs. It's where I want to be, right? Traffic, violence, car chases. Yeah, I don't need that LA traffic. Definitely don't need that LA violence, and definitely don't need. So actually, fun thing. We were, by the Hollywood Improv. I forget where it is. We were looking at LA places to get a place or whatever. And I signed up for Ring, like the neighborhood app. And I was absolutely appalled with what I found. Dude, it was every 2 seconds, man. Every 2 seconds. The Ring app would update. I was getting push notifications out of wazoo on my phone. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it's like, this person broke into this house. This person stole my package. This person planted something in my mailbox. Help. And I'm like, I'm not moving there. I'm not moving there. No. And I looked, and online that said that was one of the safest areas. So it's like, no, not doing it, not dealing with it. I respect all of you. If you live in LA or you move there, all the power to you. It's not for me. It's sad because I wanted to, to a degree, I wanted to follow in the footsteps of my dad because my dad grew up in California and I kind of wanted to do that, but not grow up there. But I mean, go there. So I will tell you right now, I've never been to MSG. That will be changing soon. I mean, I think next week I'm going. It sounds like I might be going to a Paramore concert, so that would be cool. And then Yankee Stadium, I've been there countless times. I went to the old Yankee Stadium before they knocked it down, like the true house that Ruth built. And then I went to the new Yankee Stadium multiple times. And I'll tell you right now, I love Yankee Stadium. I think it is one of the best ballparks in all of baseball. I haven't been to a ton, but I think the best ballpark as far as tradition and everything, it's my favorite is probably Fenway, which is funny because, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I really do like Fenway. But no, like Yankee Stadium's awesome. Definitely want to go there. I went to Citi Field to see Green Day, and Citi Field's cool, but I've never seen a baseball game there. So, Yes. Stands are the scary side of fan bases. Stands are, if you will, the side that, killed John Lennon. I'm just being honest with you. Like, steer clear of stands. They're getting scarier now, man. They're doxing people left and right. Like, you don't want to mess with them. You do not want to mess with them. Steer clear of them. Like, not that I was terrified of them, but I don't know. Just like I think I read you guys some of the DMs a while back, and I was just like, all right, like this person's like, I'm watching you right now, or like, stuff like that. And then this person's like, say goodbye to your family. And it's just like, bro, this is all because I said Demi Lovato had a better rock album than Miley Cyrus. Like, it wasn't meant to be a jerk. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, this is how I feel. I don't know. People don't like opinions. Like, it's kind of crazy, honestly. I saw the Kurt Warner movie. Yes, I did. I liked it. I thought they did a nice job with it. That's good to know. No idea. Yeah, I heard Laguna. Is that the best spot to live? Laguna and Huntington? I mean, I thought Encino was also a really good spot, but I don't know. I don't know anything about. I looked into it years ago. Obviously not years ago, but a couple of years ago, a few years ago. And I don't remember any of it because I basically pushed out my memory. I was this close to moving to LA. If COVID doesn't happen, I'm in LA. Maybe not currently, but no, that changed everything. So, oh man. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Wish we would have got more people, but I understand it's a Friday night. I did some promotion of this, but I didn't do a ton, and I wasn't able to post it ahead of time because I wasn't sure when I was going to get it up. So, yeah. That's going to do it. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. This has been JE Live, and I couldn't even tell you how many episodes we've done, but I'm thinking if you guys stay tuned, I might go live and play some Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's a holiday weekend. Yeah, I know. I might play some Jedi Survivor. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye on your phone. You might have a push notification. I might go live again. So just kind of figuring it out. I am a little tired, so I don't want to go live and then be like, yeah, I'm tired, So I might, but you guys take care, and I will see you guys soon. Later, folks. Do you need some energy to get through the day without relying on coffee? I got just the thing for you. It's called Neuro, and I'm partnering up with them for today's video. Neuro has gum and mints to energize, calm, and focus when you need it. They were developed by former athletes who were training at the highest level and simply didn't want to take any mysterious supplements or energy drinks when studying, training, or even going out. Instead of something sugary and ineffective, they wanted to create clean and balanced energy that could be taken anytime and anywhere. Their energy and focus formula is specially formulated with natural caffeine, theanine, and B vitamins to sustain the mental endurance necessary to maintain your focus. Their calm and clarity formula is expertly developed with GABA, vitamin D3, and L-theanine to optimize composure and clarity of mind. Their health and vitality formula is specially infused with life-enhancing, immune-boosting vitamins to help strengthen and support your body. What makes Neuro different? Neuro's gone through dozens of formulations, process, and tests to ensure that each gum and mint they make delivers on their promise of getting you in the right state at the right time. Unlike other heat-extruded gum and mints, Neuro's products are created using cold compression technology, which maintains each ingredient's bioavailability. Neuro is a clean boost of energy without the jitters of coffee or an energy drink. With so many challenges and demands, it can be really hard to stay focused, and Neuro does a great job of keeping you calm, cool, and collected. Stress, fatigue, lack of focus can all impact decision-making abilities. Recently, I had been feeling sluggish and have been distracted with everything going on in my life. These Neuro mints, however, have allowed me to stay on task and have stayed calm, cool, collected, as well as alert, and I've been able to change my approach and focus on the task at hand. Go to my sponsor link now down below, tryneurogum.com/JKB to enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.